morning and welcome to Cover 2 Cook. We are on episode 168. We're going to be talking about the Sunday night football and Monday night football games as we recap those. We're going to talk about the power rankings, the 1 through 5 in the NFL, and how our fantasy did this weekend. And then we'll move over to college football where we talk about the last top 10 before we get into playoff conversation. And there's other news as Miami just can't stop whining anymore. So we have that to talk about as well. So let's get it started.
Yeah. I was going to do a vertical jump there. Thank you, Socks.
Travel been to Indiana, and did Cover 2 Cook get you a good hotel?
Indiana? No, I'm in Louisiana. I'm here for Mardi Gras.
I know that this might be hard, but I don't know how much you remember Friday night since we left you damn near when you fell asleep.
I got my belly full, man. I was like, I warm covers and warm. I was like, I could go to sleep right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jack Dorsey.
Final answer?
Yes.
Eh.
All right.
This is going to be a long fucking day.
Welcome back to Cover 2 Cook. We're on episode 168. I'm here with Anthony and Tim. And yes, we have some Sunday night and Monday night football to recap. Tim, why don't you take me through Sunday night?
I'll tell you, this game I watched, Denver's offense blew a lot of several opportunities at the end of this game to ice it. They had a terrible interception that Nick threw. Three and outs. I mean, 3 consecutive drives. Mark my words. There's going to be a time where this offense is going to have to step up. And can they? They have not put, we played, 13 games so far this year? 12? They have not put together a 60-minute offensive show. I have not felt all season long. They are going to have to, because I can guarantee you right now, that defense is going to fail you one of these times. And I'm afraid that their failure is going to be in the playoffs in the first weekend. They have got to step up. Next is going to have to start stepping up. Their defense wasn't stellar by no means Sunday night. You give up 419 yards to a backup quarterback? Yikes. Maybe they had a little bit of rust because of coming off the bye. But, yes, they did not look good. But when they needed to step up, they did. That Nick Bonito, he knocks that ball down. If he doesn't knock that ball down, it's a clear path to the end zone. They lose. Plain and simple. They lost. But also, too, I think he had a pretty good shot at Mariota, too, to go after him. I mean, Mariota was like he couldn't move. So I think that was a key. I mean, McLaurin came alive. That's my next. But here's the deal. They have the Raiders next week before facing 4 playoff contenders. Packers, Jaguars, Chiefs, Chargers. That's a gauntlet, my friends. So you better get straightened out. Or one of those teams, whether it be the Chiefs or the Chargers, could take that division from you. And you may not be making the playoffs. For the Commanders, boy, that offense looks really good when Terry Scary's back in that lineup, isn't he? Mm-hmm. 7 catches, 99 yards. The problem with them guys is their defense. Their defense is not very good. They can't tackle. I mean, they give up a lot of good Nick's got out of a lot of good plays. They're just still giving up a lot of big plays, just not as many. I think if they can get Jaden Daniels back, which possibly maybe next week, I'm hoping, because my man Drake May is on a bye, so I need a quarterback. So, buddy, you got to play next week. If you can get Daniels and McLaurin to play on the same side of the ball, this could be I think they can not really run the table for the season, but make the season more respectable. So.
Well, definitely interesting to hear you say that the Commanders had a bad defense, but the Broncos couldn't step it up on offense. So, and with the schedule you just laid out, they better get it together quick, because I know Crosby is going to be ready to go.
Yeah.
Anthony, what did you think about this game?
Yeah, I thought the Commanders looked like they were playing for a playoff spot. I mean, they gave everything they could against the Denver Broncos. I expected the Denver Broncos defense to play a lot better than it did. But with Pat Surtain back in the lineup, which he did really well against McLaurin until the fourth quarter and overtime. Well, that's the perfect time to shut him down if there's a time to shut him down. And you said Bo Nix. I actually thought Bo Nix played pretty well in this game. And what I mean by that is he took on a lot of pressure from the Commanders' defense. The Commanders' defense is not good, but it's better than it was the past couple weeks. and things like that. I think Dan, the coach,
Quinn.
taking over the defensive play calling has definitely changed that defense for sakes. And then also the productivity on third downs for Denver Broncos. I thought they were doing pretty well against this. My problem with Denver is they want to run the ball. And right now with Harvey, he's a good running back, but that opens up the pass. And where's Troy Franklin? And where's Cortland Sutton? Like, these players need to be a lot more obvious. I also think they're missing a good tight end. I know, was it Ingram?
Yes.
He started stepping up in this game. I think that's going to be your deciding factor of how good you guys play going on in the playoffs. I will say, though, you complained, not me. You complained about them not being in the top 5 for a long time. I think this is exactly why. Because I think that they are going to get exposed in these last 4 games. Now, prove me wrong. If they win these games, and hey, they are a contender. But you got to do better. And what I'm saying that is last Thursday or 2 Thursdays ago, we had them against the Raiders, and we were like, well, okay, they got to play. And then they come to a Monday night game or Sunday night game, and it's like, okay, they got to play better. Like, we got to stop saying that because their record looks really well. This is their 9th straight win for the Broncos. Like, they should be number 1 on the list. But I think this hesitation is because of this offense. And the defense has to step up.
Anthony, they're not blowing anybody out.
Yeah.
They're winning. They're barely winning. They're not blowing anybody out. I mean, like I said, they have not played. Their offense has not played great for 4 quarters. I've not seen that where it's clicking. I really haven't. And that could expose you come playoff time. They'll have enough film on them to expose them.
Well, and like you said, you can't always depend on the defense. But at the same time, that defense has to play better because you were over here comparing them to the Ravens. And it's just not that. It's not that. And Brett Surtain back being in the lineup should have helped them a lot more than this game. I thought Mariota looked comfortable. That's not what you want to hear when a backup quarterback. Look at the Seahawks and what they did against the Vikings. That's how Denver should have been after them, and they just weren't.
Well, and I think it seemed like to me Riley Moss was getting really exposed in that 4th quarter in overtime.
Yeah.
They were going after him with McLaurin like you would beat no other. I mean, he was getting – it looked like he was tired. Yeah. And you just came off a bye, buddy. Yikes.
Well, looks like a long road for the Broncos. Hopefully they can get it in gear and really show us who they're worth. Anthony, why don't you take us into the Monday night game? How did that go?
Yeah, so this game, by the end of the first quarter, it was 17-0. Like, we knew the Giants weren't going to be in this game very long, and they weren't. Halftime was 27-7, and honestly, both teams just kind of really stopped in the second half. There wasn't many points scored. Drake May distributes the ball so well, right? Hunter Henry has been a great target for him recently, but he's got Stephon Diggs. He's got Booty. And he just finds these players. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the San Francisco offense where Purdy was able to just give the ball to everyone and let them make plays. I'm still not sure why they're splitting reps between Henderson and Stevenson on the Patriots because Henderson is a dog. He is a dog. He will be the starting running back next year for the Patriots because he is so good. On the Giants side, you got rid of Dabo or whatever it is. Yeah, Dable. Okay. Got rid of him because you can't win these 4th quarters. Well, you're now the laughing stock because Koo kicks the field instead of the ball, which was just like, this is what I imagine small town high school football. And they're like, hey, we're going to kick a field goal. Are you sure? We haven't kicked one all year. Here we go. He kicks the ground instead of the ball. Like, just so embarrassing. The final thing I want to say about the Giants is Jackson Dart. I understood you want to play aggressive. But you've had 4 concussion protocols this year already. That hit on the sideline, I am so glad the NFL is back into saying, if you're going to try to get that extra yard, then that defender gets every right to hit you. Because Pat Mahomes is the reason that is the way it is. But he got
Tom Brady.
No, I think it was more Pat Mahomes because, remember, he would fall out of bounds and people were like that. And then he lowered his shoulder in the playoffs and people were like, no, you can't have both ways. He got leveled. I mean, just absolutely flipped on his back. That was a crazy hard hit. That guy came out of no camera angle into the camera angle, flying like a bullet. And I will tell you, as a person that played defense, didn't play much in college, but played, I will tell you right now, if a quarterback's running like that, all you see is red. And you just want to drill them. Jackson Dart, just play smarter, man. I want to see what your career can be. don't ruin it year one. So, but big win for the Patriots. Patriots are a good team. They're good.
Yeah, no, I agree. When I saw on Instagram the next morning of Koo hitting the ground, it was like, go figure. I should have known it would be that kicker to do it from how he did last year in your fantasy league. Tim, what did you think about this game?
Yeah, I mean, this was not. I'm going to kind of piggyback on that too, Anthony, with Jackson Dart. Okay, so when you run out of bounds like that or got hit like that, it was 3rd and 1. Now your teammates are jumping on the other team because they think that's a late hit. Now that 3rd and 1 became now 3rd and 16 because of that 15-yard penalty. You go out of bounds early, let's say a yard, maybe even 2. Now you are looking at 3rd and 3 because that was 2nd down. You're looking at 3rd and 3 instead of 3rd and 16. Big difference. So you've got to start playing better, Jackson. Start thinking better because availability is an ability. So I think that's how the saying goes. I don't know. I see that. Yes. So I mean that's it. Got to slide. Their offense, they could get nothing going. The running attack couldn't get anything going. He tried to throw the ball down the field. They were leveling people. That Theo Johnson that leveled that Ellis. He came back in the game and he got leveled the next play down the middle. I was like, holy cow. That's, I think the biggest deal too. Also, where's Abdul Carter at? Oh, coach's assistant. He has to sit out the first quarter. He might be one of the not the biggest bust, but a bust right now. He has got a lot of growing up to do. He didn't even get on the field in the first quarter. For the Patriots, Drake May, they were trying MVP. I don't know. They said the odds changed so much. Now he is the prohibitive favorite. Stafford was last week. I just don't know if the people that do the voting, which I heard that there's 50 people that vote for the MVP, really don't know who the MVP really is. If it's turning that fast week by week, I don't know. Like you said about Travion Henderson, Stevenson looks like he's an old man, and he's not that old. And Henderson can explode out of the backfield. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised within the next couple of weeks that Stevenson kind of goes by the side. You had Drake May 24, 31, 282. The only thing I am kind of concerned about is their red zone. Their red zone for New England is not very good. I think they've had 20 and 43 red zone trips. They've only scored a touchdown in 23 of them. That's got to get better by the playoffs if you want to go very far. They were 1 for 5 last night. But overall, nice win. Going into the bye, we're going to see how good they really are coming out of the bye. They got Buffalo. And Buffalo's going to be ready to play because it's going to be at Buffalo, I think.
I think it's at New England.
Is it at New England? Okay.
I think they already beat them at Buffalo.
So we're going to see how good they really are.
Well, and I'll say this about Abdul Carter real quick, is the GM already came out and said not everyone's perfect. He's not perfect, things like this. There's a lot of rumors of what caused this. I will not speak on what they are. I told Lisa what the rumors are, that he was watching something on his phone and the headphones got disconnected. I don't know if that's real. It's off Twitter. Who knows what's real? But that has to stop. But that's also accountability on the head coach. But wait, you fired the head coach. So it's just a disarray in the Giants organization. And you know what? Put Jameis out there. At least that's entertaining to watch.
Oh, yeah. And he can throw the ball down the field.
All right. Well, let's move over to fantasy. I mean, I gave you guys some tough love last week that we got to turn this around. We can't keep losing like this. So, Anthony, should I start with you?
Yeah, you can start with me. I lost 7 in a row. I really can't even put into words how I feel about this fantasy this year. We'll have a great clip because I need to go back to when it was 4-2, and I was on the top of the mountain. And but no, it's just I'm over 70 more points scored against than the next person against me. I will tell you right now. I just showed someone today at lunch that for the past 6 weeks or past 5 weeks, one or the other, the person I've played has been in the top 3 of points in my league. So that just shows, like, I'm just getting everyone's best game. I think the person before me, the person I played this week, they scored 160 this week. The week before, they scored 90. Like, that's what I'm going against. 7 in a row. I'm in last place because the 2 people that I'm tied with, they won this week because they only scored 110 points, and that gets a win in my league. So yeah, I'm in last place. We'll kind of see how this goes.
Oh, no. You didn't get my message clear enough. Tim, please tell me I resonated with you.
Oh, you did. I won by 20 against the first place team or the first place guy.
Hey,
So
how about that?
he actually changed his name to Poor Management. So he's now, I think, tied with somebody. I think somebody else is tied with him, but I think he's got it overall on points. I'm in 7th. I won by 20. I'm in 7th. I need a lot of help because all the other people, the other 6 ahead of me, I have outscored me, and they're over 100 points ahead of me. So that's tough. There is one person I think in 4th that has like 40 points or 20 or 40 points ahead of me. I could get that. If I could win, I could. The only bad deal is Drake May's on a bye now, so I have to have Jaden Daniels, or I got to pick up somebody from the waiver wire. If I've got to do that, I'm kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Well, don't ask the wizard over here. I think his magic wore out.
Yeah,
Dude,
no, I stopped that about 3 weeks ago.
I have 3 quarterbacks on my lineup right now.
Whoa.
I have Jaden Daniels, I have Bo Nix, and I have Brock Purdy. And whoever I play, they just do shitty anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So if Jaden plays, make sure Anthony's not playing him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll play Brock Purdy then, so he scores 9 points.
Well, Anthony, I can only hope for the best here, but let's make sure everybody comments on what his punishment should be because this is just not acceptable.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
All right, well, let's move into the other news for NFL. Justin Herbert has surgery on his non-throwing hand. They expect him to still play in this game this week, Anthony, or is he expecting to sit?
Yeah, I don't know what they're saying day to day right now with him. It's crazy to think that he's going to have surgery in the same week of playing a football game. But non-throwing hand, he did actually hurt it the first quarter of this game on Sunday, and he played the rest of the game. They showed it actually on the red zone, or his hand was walking by, and it was all jazzed up. Justin Herbert is the captain. He is the man that makes that mission go for them. So if he doesn't play, this team definitely takes a hit. And I think with their running right now of the getting into the playoffs, plus possibly getting Denver for division, I think he's got to play. But crazy to think that you could have surgery and still playing football.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, like, I'm sure it was like all padded up, right? But
yeah,
like, still,
yeah.
It's a claw. You can't move it. Tim, what did you think about this? Is this pretty crazy?
Yeah. The glove that they put on it looked like it was 10 times the size that it needed.
Yeah.
It was like an oven mitten is what it looked like with fingers. It was just crazy. Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, this is your franchise quarterback. So you know what they're going to do? They're going to leave heavily on Vidali, which you know who has Vidali in the fantasy. So just lean on him. Hey, Herbert, just hand the ball off to him. Let him keep running. But yeah, this is crazy. I hope he doesn't I don't think it's going to really dampen him too much. He may have to play out of the shotgun like Aaron Rodgers. So.
Well, I heard Hampton's coming back, so have fun with that. The Chargers.
No, he's not. He's not ready. He's not coming off the practice squad yet. So.
All right. Well, the other news I have is Sauce Gardner has a calf injury, even though it looks like the Achilles. So, what do we think about that, Anthony?
Yeah, when he did it, it was the same exact reaction that Tyrese Halliburton had in basketball. He looked behind him to see who got him. And that usually means Achilles. They did say that they're going to do further investigation with it. That's a huge hit for the Colts. You went out and traded for him, things like this. You really need him in that lineup for that defense. Definitely when you're on a 2-game losing streak right now. I think he'll be back. The fact that they're already kind of putting in a calf, but calves are hard to get back from. You see hamstrings, calves, things like that that are just hard for a player to run at full speed. Well, that's the game. That's literally the game. The plays are 10 seconds, but there's 30 seconds in between. You got to be able to run full speed for those 10 seconds. So hopefully he is back because he is a hell of an athlete.
Well, and a lot of these injuries are, lingering. You think you're fine, and then you run full speed and you pull it again or something like that. So definitely could be a longer impact than just a week or two. Tim, what did you think about when you heard this?
Yeah, they're going to need him because that defense has been kind of struggling the last couple of weeks. And now you got Daniel Jones who's got a broken fibula. I think that's hampered him even more. This offense is starting to slow down. Jonathan Taylor's not getting the runs like he was getting earlier in the year. It just seems like it's just falling apart, which now is going to open up for Jacksonville to jump back in this conference too, in this division. Houston, do we have a problem? No, I think they jump back in this. This is big for Indianapolis. I think they come back to the pack, and I think the other two teams is going to make a run and maybe even overtake them. With this Sauce Gardner injury, that's like you said, they went out and got this guy for a reason because he's one of the number one shutdown corners in the league. So if he's got this kind of an injury, because like you said, a calf injury is just like a hamstring. It lingers the whole season.
Yeah.
And we've seen the Colts, be high up in the power rankings, and we've also seen them now fall off completely. So yeah, it's definitely taken a toll on them. But speaking of power rankings, let's move on to this week's top 5. In the first spot, even though they lost, the Rams are still in number 1. In 2, we have the Seahawks. They stayed the same. And the third place stayed the same. We have the Broncos. Oh, my apologies. 4th place, the Patriots have also stayed. The only movement we have is in the 5th slot, which is the Packers. But right behind them in 6th is actually the Bears. So we'll see from that game this weekend who really is going to be in the 5th place spot. That's pretty exciting seeing the Bears finally make their way up from 12. Tim, what's your reaction to this?
I think Seattle should be number 1.
Ooh.
I think that Rams loss, that's a big loss against a Carolina team that's up and down. They're like the stock market. One week they're looking good, the next week they're not. I think Seattle, the way they put a whooping on Minnesota against that quarterback, I guess that's what you would call it as a person. They said in the highlights that it kind of reminded me. Remember when Denver during the COVID year had everybody out because of COVID, so they thought, "Hey, you played quarterback before, haven't you? You're in." It almost seemed like that with Max Brosnan. But anyway, I think Seattle should be number 1. I think everybody else should stay the same, and we'll see who number 5 lives between the Bears and Packers.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think Anthony was about ready to pack up his bags and go to Minnesota himself.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Anthony. What do you think?
And I'll say it's always good when the NFC North is good because where we live, this rivalry between the Packers and Bears, and then you get them both having these seasons that they're having. This game is going to be great on Sunday. Like, this will be a fun game to watch. I do think Packers being higher than them. I read a stat, something about the Bears hadn't won anyone over 500 percentage, things like that. They're just finding teams at the perfect time. I mean, getting the Eagles with Hurts and Saquon not playing the way that they should be, that's a win. But you beat the Eagles. I think they should be up in the top 5. I truly do. I think the Bears will actually beat the Packers this weekend as well. And if that is, I think they jump the Broncos. I also think the Patriots should be higher than the Broncos due to their win this past weekend compared to the Broncos going into overtime just to win theirs. But I definitely agree. I think this is a solid. It's just not the teams. In the beginning of the year, if you would have told me this is the top 5, I wouldn't have believed it. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to get very interesting. Just like college football right now, it's going to get very interesting with these last few weeks we have left in the regular season.
Absolutely. And I mean, another team to talk about is this Thursday night game. We got Dallas versus Lions. These two teams are also very, right up in there. It could go either way with the way they've been performing lately.
Well, and I'll say this real quick about this game. This is a statement game for Dallas.
Yeah.
But it could also be a statement game for the Lions because if they lose, they're on the outside looking in. And that's not what you're expecting. But we also knew this going into the season, that losing Ben Johnson and losing Glenn was going to cause a little bit of ray for their play calling. So that game, this will be a great Thursday night game. Like, this is the games we asked for standalone games, not the freaking Giants and Patriots and stuff like this. We want good games, and it'll be a great Amazon game.
Yeah, most definitely. All right,
well, even one key injury to watch for is Amon St. Brown.
Yeah.
He's not practiced the last 2 days. I don't think he plays Thursday night. If he hasn't practiced in 2 days and they got a Thursday game, which really technically that is a week. I mean, it's been a full week because they both played on Thursday night. But if he's a no-go in these first 2 days, I don't see them playing Thursday night. I think they hold them out.
Yeah, but I think that's good for the Lions because here's the deal. When you go into a game thinking you're going to have a player and he gets hurt in the first quarter, that switches up your whole offense. Where if you can plan the whole week saying, oh, Amora St. Brown ain't playing, well, then that allows for other players to know where they're going to be and when it's going to be time. So, yeah, I definitely agree. And also, if you're going to make a playoff run, you're going to need them in the playoffs. Yeah. So, with an ankle that bad, the way it looked, just let him rest a week and then get him back in next week.
Yeah, but it also gives the defense, keeping them on their toes because they probably were preparing and they don't know. Right.
Yep. Right.
All right, well, let's move over to college football because that's getting very interesting too. Anthony, please take us through right now the new top 10 rankings.
Yeah, so number 1 is Ohio State. Number 2 is Indiana. Nope. This is not the right list. No, it's still the same list. Number 1 is Ohio State. Number 2 is Indiana. Number 3 is Georgia. Number 4 is Oregon. Number 5 is Texas Tech. Number 6 is Ole Miss. Number 7 is Texas A&M going down 4 spots after the loss to Texas. Number 8 is Oklahoma. Number 9 is Notre Dame. And number 10 is Alabama. Not much changed. Obviously, some teams went up. Some teams went back, or only Texas A&M went back because of their loss. Number 11 is BYU, and number 12 is Miami. I think those are the teams to watch out for. I will say this, as we're on the night of college football playoff committee, I have this weird feeling that Notre Dame's going to get left out. I truly do. I think there's just so much rift of this year about they don't deserve it. They don't, even though they look on eye test, they look good. I just don't think, I think there's too much with BYU, and I think BYU deserves to be in the playoffs. I truly do, because the only game they've lost this year is to Texas Tech, who's in the top 5. And then they're going to play them again in the conference championship. They shouldn't be penalized for losing that game. I think they're in. I think Vanderbilt, they could be a consideration. I think Tennessee's not as good as what people thought they were. So Vanderbilt beating them up, I don't know where Notre Dame fits in this whole thing. If they go back, I'm okay with that. I don't want to be at number 9 anyways. So if you put them at 11, I'm okay with that. But there's too many teams with these 2 losses that are just sitting right at the edge. I just don't know if Notre Dame has enough to get themselves in there.
Yeah, but they go through this every year with being an independent. It's hard to know where to put them, right? So, I mean, this is a constant struggle that they have.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. I do. But, I feel like last year it was obvious that they could get in because there wasn't so many teams at this 2-loss right around that area that was kind of – this year they actually have chaos. And I think the College Football Committee is getting beat up because they're keeping Notre Dame in there. I just wouldn't be surprised that we come into these final 2 weeks and Notre Dame's not on the list. They're on the outside looking in because they're just – Miami's whining like little babies. You got BYU sitting over there trying to be good Mormons, but at the same time yelling. Vanderbilt thinks they're relevant because of one player on that whole team. So I think Notre Dame deserves to be in there. I think they'll give every team a run for their money because now we're seeing a Texas A&M not look as dominant as they were. Well, Notre Dame showed that when they had to score with 14 seconds left to beat them. So,
yeah. Well, Tim, what do you think? Do you agree with Anthony? Should they be in, or do you think that they might slide out?
I think they'll still be in. They'll be at 10. I think Alabama overtakes them after this weekend for the SEC championship. I know they say it doesn't matter, but I think Alabama overtakes them and they become 10. Another thing is there's too much money. If you don't have Notre Dame in that playoffs, your viewership will go down. You will not. It'll go down. So you've got to have Notre Dame in there, and I think that's the eye test of them. And also, too, they have played tough. They've played better since the first 2 games of the year. I think they're in, but they're going to be at 10, and they'll be playing maybe, hopefully, because Anthony, in your opinion, do you think what team beats Notre Dame right now?
Out of this list, I think Ohio State beats them. I think
anybody
Georgia,
else?
I think Georgia beats
really?
them.
Okay, because I don't think anybody else beats them
other
than Ohio State.
I think Texas Tech beats them too. I think Texas Tech's D-line is scary. And when you have a good defensive line like that, it's going to be hard to run the ball. I think there's 2 to 3 solid teams. I think that looking at – also, I'll say this real quick. I know you're just talking. Boomer Eisman, Boomer, whatever the F his name is.
Boomer Tyson.
Yeah, he can lick my asshole. Okay. I'm so tired of hearing about his shit. Okay. To be a Notre Dame fan does not mean you have to either go to Notre Dame or have a family member in there. Because I've never played for the Minnesota Vikings. I know 0 people that have played for the Minnesota Vikings. And guess what? I can be a fan of them. Same way with college. I don't understand this whole thing. I do think they are a top 12 team in there, but I think what we're seeing more than ever is these outside schools looking in, unless the Tulane or North Texas or one of these teams comes and make a running, because if they lose that first game, done with it. Done.
Yeah.
It's the top 12 teams getting in there. Just because you don't have the same payroll that LSU and Ole Miss has, that's your own problem. Because do you see baseball doing any problems with that? Do you have any? Like, it's just, we have to put the top 12. If it was a top 12, Notre Dame's in definitely. They're in, because I don't think Texas should be in there with 3 losses. You have 3 losses.
Yeah.
And I'll say this too real quick. Notre Dame, you put yourself in this situation because you should have beat those 2 teams. You should have beat Miami. You had every reason to beat them. They got lucky in that game. And you should have beat Texas A&M. Your defense can't wake up week 3. It needed to wake up week 1 because that was your 2 tough games. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I like I said, I think they're in. I think the only team that could beat them right now, I think with that running attack that they have, and CJ Carr getting better and better each week, I don't see anybody other than Ohio State. I've been watching the past 14 weeks that they've been playing football. The only team that is standalone is Ohio State. The rest of them, I think they can beat Indiana. I think they can beat Texas Tech. Ole Miss, yeah. Oklahoma would give them fits. Oklahoma's scary because of their defense. But their offense ain't worth a shit. I think they can beat any one of them. Any one of them.
Well, and I'm sorry, but we'll really see how Ole Miss is going to play out now that they're head coachless.
Yeah.
Like they could
see where they
they
shuffle to. Right.
Yeah, I don't think they slide out because, again, this is they have 1 loss. You can't put a 2 or 3 loss team in there when one team has 1 loss. Honestly, if Alabama loses to Auburn like this past weekend, they're in the SEC championship. Lane Kiffin or no Lane Kiffin, they're there.
Right.
I do think Rick Pitino's tweet or whatever he put out there about I have the number 1 team going into the March Madness and I leave. Like it's the timing on this is awful. It makes college football look bad. I do agree that Notre Dame brings in way too much fanship and money to not have them in there. But there's more noise than ever about why Notre Dame shouldn't be in there, and that's why I'm nervous.
And who's the culprit of that? Miami.
Yeah.
Because in other news, the Miami athletic director says ACC should reevaluate tiebreakers after Duke makes a conference title game. Oh, so we've made our point about Notre Dame. Now let's complain about Duke getting in there. I think the common denominator is Miami, just win your games. Really. Like, that's my 2 cents. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think this is what happens when you guys expanded your conferences. When you guys went to say, we want to own everyone, SEC, Big Ten, ACC, you're in that list. You grabbed SMU, you grabbed Cal, you grabbed Stanford, you grabbed these other teams, and then now you're surprised because you can't play everyone. There's only so many games, so you got to make a better tiebreaker. I do agree with the AD there. But at what point do you guys just not look soft for complaining about every damn thing? Because I do agree with you, Lisa. The only way you get into a conference championship is you win your games. You lost to 2 conference teams that had no right of being in the same game with you, and you choked. I also still don't believe on paper they're so good. They have a good freshman wide receiver, Tooney, but Carson Beck is still Carson Beck. Yeah. He throws way too many interceptions. He's not accountable. He's not. At what point are we just going to be like, shut the hell up? Like, shut up. And you know what? I'll tell you right now, this is exactly what's going to happen. If they don't make it, okay, the players will sit out of that bowl game. They'll get blown out by 80 fucking points because that's what happens. They're going to cry, take their ball, and go home. And I'm just tired of it. Like, Miami is this team that I think of the 90s and the early 2000s,
right,
where they didn't take no shit from nobody, and they'd wear camouflage to a game. Like, they just didn't care, and they look so soft. Like, and I'll tell you right now, last thing, line that ball up in Brazil, line it up in Australia, wherever it is. I will be on the sideline as a Notre Dame fan, and I will take on any Miami. Michael Irvin, I'll take your cokehead ass out. I don't care. Like, it's so
Right.
annoying. It's just, it's old. It's old news, and it's getting very old very fast. Whether it's complaining about Notre Dame or complaining about this, they just want to complain. But you know what they could have done? They could have won their games, and they didn't.
They had the opportunities, absolutely.
Yes.
And now they're waiting for everybody else to make the decision for them because they couldn't take the heat.
Yep.
What do you think, Tim? How about all this Miami heat? You got anything to
Well,
try with?
Yeah, and here's the deal. I think there was a team a few years ago. I think it might have been Clemson, but I that was complaining about this tiebreaker deal.
Yeah.
They were complaining about this years ago, and the ACC didn't do nothing about it. So you think they're going to do something about it because there's Miami is now complaining about it? Probably not. And I agree with you, Anthony. You took on 20 teams now. I don't know if that's as many as that in the league. So you don't get to play everybody. Stop taking on so many teams. You don't need to beat a group of 5. I mean, you could be the group of 5, but that's 100. I mean, stop complaining. Just go out there and play the games and beat everybody. I agree. Beat everybody. Beat the people that are on your schedule, and then let everybody else go as they may. But yeah, their tiebreaker system. I thought it was Clemson. I think it was Dabo that was bitching about it a couple years ago. Because of the way it is set up, it probably is flawed. But that's because you've got 20 teams in your league. So,
well, and I'll say this too, real quick. Miami, you can't complain about Notre Dame not being in a conference and being like, well, this is what happens when they need to be in a conference. And then you complain about your conference.
yeah.
Like, it's literally why Notre Dame
Right.
is. Because also, last thing too, for all the people that are like, Notre Dame needs to be in a conference, why do they owe anyone anything? They've been doing it for however long. They were the ones that got the NBC deal that led to now the Big Ten network, the SEC network, the ACC network, all of these conferences. Now they have their own network because Notre Dame owned a station because of it. And also, Notre Dame brings in so much money. Why do they owe anyone? So you're telling me that Florida State deserves some of the money that Notre Dame brings in because they suck? And final thing, Miami, you wouldn't even be in this game if Clemson and Florida State would have lived up to the hype that they were supposed to. Because they were supposed to be the cream of the crop, and you were in third place. Well, guess what? You're in third place even when those teams suck because now it's Duke and Virginia. I'm so tired of it. And they're not that good. They are not that good. You know what? Put them in it. Put them in the playoff. Take out one of these other teams that are not whining as much because I'll tell you right now, they'll lose first game. And then we'll be like, this is why you guys didn't even deserve to be in here.
Yep.
All right. Oh, it feels good to vent sometimes about this. I'm so tired. Like, my social media is just so crazy with people being so, like, negative towards Notre Dame. If you ain't us, that's why you hate us. Because you're not us. And I'm just so tired of hearing about why Notre Dame shouldn't be in it, why they need to join a conference, why. And everyone that bitches about it, because remember this real quick, too. I remember there was this guy, James Franklin, right? Where he said every team should play in a conference championship, or no one did. And then went out there and lost to Notre Dame. Marcus Freeman, I hope you were sitting there smiling because nobody knows what's coming if Notre Dame makes the playoffs. If Notre Dame doesn't make a playoff, this is just an awful damper. But this is episode 168. We talked about the NFL. I got to vent about Notre Dame and college football. We talked about the power rankings. We talked about the top 10. Tonight, as we're recording Tuesday night, the college playoff prediction will come out. So on Friday, when we record on Thursday night, we'll talk about that as well. I'm hoping Notre Dame's still in that conversation. We'll talk about that and the must-watch games as we have conference championship this weekend for college football. So there isn't as many games, but we'll talk about those. And we'll talk about our must-watch games for the NFL as well. If you like what we do, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Have a great rest of your week, and we will talk to you on Friday.